maybe one of the reasons why Taylor Swift has been so just kind of annoyingly liberal over the last couple of years is that she's not yet married and she doesn't have children. I say this non-sarcastically. I say this as a husband and a father. Having children changes you. Getting married changes you. And I hope that America's biggest pop star marrying the pharmaceutical spokesperson ends up conservatizing them. Taylor Swift might de-radicalize herself. She might come back down to reality. It starts to clarify your worldview. And for Taylor Swift, who obviously is very popular and incredibly supported, Taylor Swift might go from a cat lady to a J.D. Vance supporter. And I think we should celebrate that. I think that Taylor Swift having 2 or 3 children, she should have more children than she has houses. That is my challenge, Taylor Swift. And I'm not being sarcastic. I think that if she ends up having children, she'll stop this kind of liberal endorsing Joe Biden nonsense. And we want Taylor Swift on Team America. We want you to leave the island of the wokies. And we would welcome you with open arms. One of the reasons why so many people on the right have been just skeptical or at least a little bit negative on Taylor Swift is up until this point, that's not a great role model for young women to wait all the way until you're 35 and just put your career first. This is something that I hope will make Taylor Swift more conservative. Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. And most importantly, I can't wait to go to a Taylor Kelsey concert. I can't say it without laughing. You got to change your name. If not, you don't really mean it.
That was MAGA supplicant and community college dropout Charlie Kirk's advice to international superstar, brilliant businesswoman, gifted songwriter, and overall benevolent human being, Taylor Swift. And just in case you've been living under a rock lately, Taylor Swift and football star Travis Kelce recently got engaged. And well, that broke the internet. I also lost my mind as well. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe, and you are watching the MeidasTouch Network. And yes, I am a Swiftie. Let's talk about the misogyny of the Republican Party. I mean, the misogyny of the world and society in general, but the GOP truly hates women. Don't let them tell you anything different. Essentially, Kirk's message to Taylor is to give up everything that makes her special and distinctive and give it all up for her man. That's it. Just turn it all in to her husband now, because now he owns her. That's what the GOP's message is. The party of patriarchy means that women don't have power, that they answer to the men. Here's a recent tweet from Christian nationalist, pastor, and big-time Trump supporter Mark Driscoll. Men, if you're not the head of your household, Satan is. Oh yes, the submit to your husband's bullshit. I grew up around that propaganda in church culture, but it never sat well with me because it's a Christian nationalist lie propagated by misogynistic churches to keep men in power. And in fact, Jesus himself was the OG feminist. He consistently lifted up women's voices. I could go through a litany of examples where Jesus Christ himself made sure that women were up front and center. But that's not what Christian nationalism ever preaches, because it's all about keeping the men in power. So the Republican cult has long yelped about sex predators and human trafficking rings, yet it is they who are frequently culpable. One of Trump's spiritual advisors, megachurch pastor Robert Morris, was recently indicted for child sex crimes. Shocker. And then this guy, Joel Koskin, a Republican candidate for the South Dakota Senate, pleaded guilty to incest charges with his adopted daughter. And he still got 42% of the vote, even after the public knew about the charges. I mean, literally, what the fuck? Like I said, GOP stands for Guardians of Predators. In less than 8 months, the Trump regime has cut billions of dollars in research grants for education that helps women and girls, and in doing so is rolling back decades of progress for us. It's the way they want. When they say make America great again, they mean bring us back to the days when women had no rights. Doge canceled hundreds of women's health research grants, everything from breast cancer research to reproductive health and chronic illnesses. That's particularly painful for me as a breast cancer survivor. And the Trump regime has also cut monies to domestic abuse and gender-based violence grants, which means that many women and girls will not have a safe place to escape to after they've been raped or otherwise sexually assaulted. The places where girls and women once sought refuge in a crisis are now facing a crisis themselves because they lost their government funding under Trump and Republican power. Okay? That's what that means. I mean, take a look at the extreme levels that Trump is taking just to shut down the Epstein survivors, sending military flyovers during their press conferences.
This woman abused children.
Calling their rape and sex assault stories hoaxes.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
A few of the Epstein survivors, interestingly, said that they voted for Trump. Here's what one of them had to say to MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell.
He's in complete control of releasing the Epstein files. They could be released in their entirety tomorrow if Donald Trump simply told the Justice Department to do it. What would you say to him about it right now?
You have daughters. You know what it is like to raise children and to be a parent. Outside of all this hoopla that you're the president or you're Donald J. Trump and you have your Trump stuff, you know what it is to be a parent. You know that. Could you imagine if that was your daughter that was trafficked to people? Could you imagine your 14-year-old daughter having to go through what we had to go through? And then you sit here and say what you said? You should be supporting us. You should be backing us. This is not a joke. We spoke our truth and you were telling us pretty much that we're lying. I put my hope in you when I voted for you for our country, and you can't even back us.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. That was really hard for me to hear her say. And first of all, I just want to applaud her for coming out publicly. You can tell it was extremely difficult for her to speak, as for many of them. So I want to say right off from the jump, like, bravo to her. But as I listened to her in that interview, she almost seemed, and this is just my personal read, like in awe of Trump. And I don't know if there's some trauma bonding, like the best friend of your abuser is now who you look to as like, Trump. But she's clearly not aware or has been brainwashed in the cult about how Trump treats people and specifically even his own children. He does not give a fuck. And here's how Trump has spoken about his favorite daughter, Ivanka, even when she was a little girl.
That if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it. Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Hey, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that. I can't relate that.
Donald Trump has always been proud of his daughter. Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
Perhaps if she weren't my daughter, I'd be dating her. She's got the best body. That is such a disturbing thing to say for a father to say about his daughter. Honest to God, it's a 5-alarm fire. I cannot believe that. I mean, people have put those clips out frequently, but that is such a huge red flag to me that there is some kind of abuse that potentially went on in that home. Like, that is incredibly disturbing and unhealthy for any father to be saying about his daughter. And it really makes me wonder what kind of horrors happened in the Trump household. I'm just saying, that's my read. And in fact, Katie Johnson, that's the pseudonym of a girl who alleged in 2 separate court cases that she then rescinded. I did a whole piece about that. You can go look it up. I also have that piece on my Substack, so please go check it out. Who she said, Katie Johnson said, again, that's her pseudonym, that when Trump was sexually abusing her, that he would frequently tell her that she reminded him of his daughter, Ivanka. So you do the math, you use your brains, and you tell me how that works out. It's beyond disturbing and creepy. Republicans are desecrating women's rights. They are going to take our right to vote. And I think we need to take this very seriously. They already took our bodily autonomy away. People thought that was, settled law, but it turns out with this right-wing fascist Supreme Court, no. So next up is our right to vote. They are going after the 19th Amendment. Make no mistake about it. In MAGA world, women and children are simply property to be used and abused.
Did try and fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
Pull the ham.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
One of those men was fired from his job as a TV host. The other one was elected as president of the United States twice. You guys, we got to do better. Our nation is crumbling because of this. Women are less safe because of this. I definitely feel it. I feel that women and children, obviously, are much less safe. We are under threat because if Donald Trump can get to the highest office in the nation with impunity, then who's to say that anyone else who makes threats or sexually assaults women and children will be safe? He pardoned so many people with horrific criminal backgrounds, including child molesters, sexual predators from the J6 insurrectionists. He just gave them a blank pardon. And now these people are back on the streets. Many of them have already repeated their offenses. So the message being sent to these predators, these men, is that you can get away with anything because Donald Trump did. And I beg of you, if you're a parent or a brother of a sister, or, think about that. Think about how that places the females in your life. We're less safe because of this shit show. Lastly, if you have some spare time, I highly recommend watching the docuseries on Hulu. It's called Stalking Samantha. It's done by ABC News. It's excellent. It's riveting. It really plays out how bad the laws are for women and girls and why so many of us don't end up reporting sex crimes. And that's because men, including many cops, don't believe us. And you'll see that in this docuseries. The system does not support us. So that's why we must stand together and fight for justice for women and children who have been attacked and abused. All right, that's all I got. I will see you soon. Peace out and be fierce.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.